We've all seen the impacts of climate change on people in the United States and around the world. And we know that climate change is affecting every sector of our lives. Historically, this has not been a partisan issue, but that's not the case right now. I'm David Sherman, professor of psychological and brain sciences at the University of California, Santa Barbara, and my lab is the Social Climate Science Lab. I'm a social and health psychologist, and my primary research question is how do people cope with information or events that threaten how they see themselves in some way, and the relevance that this has for social policy and intergroup relations. Why is it that we, as a society, have such challenges in coping with the long-term problems such as climate change? This is one of the driving questions of my research and my project here. Climate change is one of the existential issues that is facing us individually and collectively. It affects health, it affects industry, it affects well-being, and it affects us on a day-to-day basis when we're confronting extreme weather events, which have become more frequent and more devastating due to climate change. And it affects our long-term planning in terms of what society will face and what we as a nation and also as a world will face. And thus, it really requires an all-hands-on-deck approach. In our research, we've examined many different climate policies, including cap and trade, carbon tax. And one of the things that we find is that the details of the policy matter less than the political party of who is proposing the policy. This is what's been termed the party over policy effect. And we see it again and again. For Democrats, they're much more willing to support policy related to the environment if it's proposed by a fellow Democrat than a Republican. For Republicans, that is the case as well. They're quite willing to support climate policy when it's introduced by a fellow Republican. When Republicans in our studies take the lead on the issue of climate change, we see that there's much less polarization on support for the policy. And this suggests that for conservative climate activists, and there are a number of those, they can have an outsized impact if they assume leadership positions and advance climate policies. It's a great honor to be a fellow at the Russell Sage Foundation, to be able to focus on a project that I care deeply about, and to get the feedback and camaraderie from being a part of a cohort. At this stage in one's career, the intellectual and social resources that are provided and available at the Russell Sage Foundation have been integral to me being able to pursue my research in a depth and capacity that you're not able to do in your normal academic or scholarly life.